They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Hello and welcome to Farmer's Kitchen. Mrs. Farmer, what are you doing here?
I'm here to eat. Thank you.
But you're looking ravishing.
You look very ravishing, as usual.
Thanks for lying.
Okay.
You know what? Let's roll our sleeves up.
Okay.
Or in my case, sleeve. Roll my sleeve
I
up.
got mine rolled up already.
It's time to get to work.
That's right.
You know what? My dad, I was talking to him on the phone the other day, and he says, Tim, you know what I want really bad? I've been thinking about this since I was a kid. He used to go someplace to a fish fry, and he remembered exactly how he wanted his fish. I said, well, Dad, do you want a beer batter? He said, no. He says, I want to taste the fish. He said, I don't want it to be overbearing. He said, I said, you mean like a cornmeal flour batter?
So a light batter.
Just a light batter, like a country batter, like when you had a fish fry as a kid.
Right.
Now, overwhelmingly on our show, we've done things like garlic, butter, white wine, capers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We've also done beer batter after beer batter after beer batter. And it changes about every week because I find a new secret
That's
that
right,
works.
you do.
But anyhow, tonight we're going to have our fish fry. Why are we doing that? Because we've been fishing lately. Where'd we go? We went to Cumberland. We went to Dale Hollow. We went to Alabama. We fished at Smith Lake. Now, we have put a lot of fish in the freezer here lately. Sometimes we get back late, we've cleaned the fish, and I forget to label them.
Yeah, and then we forget what's in what bag.
And I think these are spotted bass. On this meal tonight, you could do crappie, you could do walleye, you could do spotted bass, you could do largemouth bass if you catch one and keep it. Now that might start a fight out there.
That's right.
Some people keep them, some people don't. Now I normally don't keep a smallmouth bass. That's just me. Now recently I went to Cumberland and Dale Hollow and I was hoping to catch some spots. And all I caught was smallmouth.
That's right.
So I let them go. Then we went to South Holston Lake in Tennessee and look at all these nice fish we got. All smallmouths. They got to go back because they were huge. You were freezing to death.
I was freezing.
So tonight we're going to take some of the fish we caught, and this is our normal fish fry type of night.
Right.
This is what we have in our house. This is what Dad's going to get next week because we promised we would
did.
go there. But you're going to start out tonight with making something Kelly calls Cowboy Candy. She makes these. These are so good. They're so tasty. You can put them in so many things. And they are kind of like candy to me. Now, you can take the seeds out or leave them. They're going to be a little hotter. But Nikki's going to make us a batch of Cowboy Candy, which is just pickled jalapenos.
Right.
They're delicious. So let's get that started, Mrs. Farmer.
And I'm going to have you start the burner for me.
Okay.
And I'll cut my last two here. And this is a 1/3 cup of vinegar, apple
And
cider.
this is apple cider. Put it in?
Yeah, go ahead and put that in. And this is 3/4 of a cup of sugar. There for you.
That's a good start.
And you'll be my stir for that. Okay, 3 more ingredients.
All right.
We need, this is chili powder.
Okay.
We need 3/4 of a teaspoon. There's a half a teaspoon
I
of
love
that.
turmeric.
Yes.
You know, I remember Mom was doing pickles. You could always smell the turmeric.
Oh yeah. And ginger.
And ginger.
And that's a half a teaspoon of that too. So that's it, 5 ingredients.
It already smells delicious.
Doesn't it? And what we're gonna do, you get that to a boil for me. And when it gets to a boil, we're gonna turn it down to simmer. We're gonna add these to it.
I don't have to do anything fancy like when you made your brittle.
No, you can let it go
You
slow.
scared me.
You did good, you did really good. We're gonna add these in and we're gonna let them just simmer for 4 minutes. And we put them in jars.
One thing, let's remember this about our peanut brittle that we make. If you have dental work, watch it.
That's right.
Or dentures.
That's right. Now one thing about these, this is not like we're making jelly or, this isn't something you put on the shelf. This goes in the fridge. You keep it for maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 months at the most, and you just eat it.
Exactly. Short shelf life.
Yes.
Just like our dandelion jelly in the spring or our redbud jelly or violet jelly. That is not something you seal up and keep for 3 years. That's something we're going to use in a very short amount of time. Now, dandelions bloom all summer long. You can make it. Once you open it, put it in the fridge, just like these.
Right.
Now, when you're buying jalapenos, it's funny how sometimes They get a little more heat, sometimes a little less.
Yeah.
This batch is not real hot,
My eyes didn't even burn, so I think it's okay.
but you got to be careful
That's
when
right.
you're cutting them up. And those seeds in the inner part there, there's your boil.
Okay, go ahead and turn it down.
All right.
Let's get that to like a simmer. And I'm going to add these in, and I'm just going to have you stir them for me.
Okay.
And we're going to time
4 minutes?
For 4 minutes, we're going to time them, and then we're just going to put them in jars, and they can go in the fridge.
Typically, for the best flavor, I think they want them to set for about a week
Yeah,
before you eat
they
them.
get better the more they sit. Think about that hot mixing with that sweet.
But we ate some the other day, a day after,
It was good.
and they weren't terrible.
No.
So this is quick and easy. You can use them in so many recipes,
Right.
They have that nice pickle taste, but you get a little bit of that heat too. Wonderful, wonderful stuff.
This is going to make 3 little jars. Exactly. This batch.
It looks like our 4 minutes are up.
Isn't that simple?
That's it.
Yep. Now
Nothing
I'm
to
going
it?
to, yes, and I like to use a fork and just pull them out and fill these.
Then pour the juice in.
Yeah, then we'll pour the juice in. I just don't want to pour it all over the counters. I think I'll be safer. Yeah.
So many recipes you can use this in.
And you know, you could take, some people don't want them as hot. I made a batch where I took all the little seeds out. You could do that too. But you like them hot,
I
don't you?
like a little heat.
Yeah.
So how many peppers you cut up for these 3 jars?
I just did 5 for these 3
5.
jars, yes.
All right, let me bash these down in there for you.
Got a couple more. We'll jam them all in there, don't you think?
Yeah. Now you know me, we buy a lot of store-bought pickled jalapenos,
You'll just eat these, won't you?
and we use those in a lot of recipes. So we'll switch over to ours.
That's right. Those look pretty even. See how it does? Almost did perfect for us. I think that's
Beautiful.
a perfect batch for my 3 little baby jars. All right, I'm gonna seal those up.
Making a coleslaw on the mandolin. Oh, it's beautiful.
We have cabbage all over the kitchen.
It is, we're making a mess, but it's a
worth it.
beautiful,
That's
beautiful
right.
mess. To me, this is just the easiest way to do it.
Fresh.
I got onto my serrated edge, I guess you could call it, on the mandolin. Some of these old-time recipes, you know, you get from somebody else and you kind of doctor them to get them like you want them. I remember going somewhere, and I can't remember where it was, but this lady had the best coleslaw I'd ever eaten in my life. And I said, "Can you tell me that recipe?" And she said, "I would tell you, but I'd have to kill you." And so I kind of laughed and kind of hung my head because it was really good stuff. And she came up, she said, "I'm gonna tell you something." She said, "I was a lunch lady for a lot of years." Then she said, "I cooked for this little cafe down the road." She said, "This is my top secret recipe." And this has been so long ago.
So you're allowed to give it out now.
I'm allowed to give it out now
All right.
because because it's public domain now. It's after 70 years.
Okay.
So anyhow, this was her lunch lady recipe. Now I like a little mustard in mine. There's a restaurant down in the western part of the state that serves barbecue.
They got
I'm
good
talking
coleslaw.
about?
Yes, I do.
They have mustard in it. I like that.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you the secret recipe. Now some people like a vinegar-based slaw, so I like mayonnaise-based. So if you're going to do a great big head, this wasn't a huge head of cabbage, you're going to need 2 cups of mayonnaise. You need equal parts, a 1/3 cup of sugar and a 1/3 cup of white vinegar. Now, if you don't have white vinegar, you can use sweet pickle juice or dill pickle juice.
Yeah.
Top secret. Now, I like a little mustard, so that's probably a tablespoon of mustard just to get a little bit yellow. You can
Right.
use some mustard seed too. Some people use celery seed. So we're going to take some carrots, some fresh carrots. I'm going to put these in here. It always makes me nervous because I've left a little bit of hide in there. You ever done that?
Yes, I don't like it. I'm being careful.
Let's see what you got.
Love it.
I'll dump that in.
A little bit more.
Oh yeah, we need some more carrot. Now this is obviously with the sugar and the vinegar. It's going to be a sweeter coleslaw. Mayonnaise based. That's just the way I like it. That's the way Nikki likes it.
That's right.
A lot of times when we serve this to folks, they say that's the best coleslaw I ever had. And so every time they say that, I thank the lunch lady.
That's right.
So there's our base.
That's
right there.
pretty.
That
Very
does
pretty.
look pretty. Now, the original recipe calls for 2 cups of mayonnaise. That's our great big head of cabbage. I don't know that we'll use all that, but let's try to add everything accordingly
Ready?
and see where we go.
All right. So there's your 1/3 of sugar. And that's your 1/3 of white vinegar. And a whisk makes it nice.
And let's not forget our mustard. If you like that sort of thing. Some people do, some people don't. But that's the base of the recipe. You'll have a great coleslaw right there. Now see how it gets that little yellow look there? Oh, that reminds me of that restaurant. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
It starts with a K, but has an N sound. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That's good. Very yummy.
Now, I want you to look at that. Is that not like what you buy in the store?
Perfect. Beautiful.
We're going to try to keep you from going to the store at all. You keep
right.
just doing everything at your house.
That's
You won't
right.
even need the store. All right, Miss Farmer. So let's see what we got.
How much you want in here to start?
That looks like a good start.
Good start.
Let's see where we go from there. Now that looks like any store-bought brand you can buy.
That tastes good. I taste
It
it.
does. And it smells good. It depends on how much you want in here. Some people like theirs a little dry. Some people like theirs soupy. I don't want mine soupy, but every bite I want to have something in there. I want to be able to taste that sauce. Is that perfect?
It's perfect.
Southern Lunch Lady Coleslaw.
I like it.
Look at there. Beautiful. Let's put that in a new bowl. Now we want to put this in a container we can reseal it. Put it in the refrigerator because I'm sure we won't eat all this tonight. Even though
You might.
I can get a good head start on it.
I like celery seed.
I'm going to top that off with just
like
a little
it.
bit of celery seed. Does that look beautiful?
It looks beautiful.
So there's our basic coleslaw recipe. It's delicious.
Yes.
But if you want to tang it up just a bit, take your peppers, cut them up just a little bit, pop those in, mix them up. Oh, remember our Cowboy Candy we just made? Now we're going to take our Cowboy Candy. We're going to
Looks pretty.
toss that in, mix it up, and it's just a nice little addition. Is that not beautiful, Mrs. Farmer?
That is beautiful.
Now let's pop that in the fridge.
Okay.
Because we got a fish fry coming up.
Yes,
you
we
got to
do.
have coleslaw with fish fry.
Yes, you do.
Who'd you learn to cook from?
My mother, my grandmothers.
Both of them?
Yeah, both of them. How about you?
You know, I watched people. You know, I was always around people that hunted and fished. I remember PR's grandmother, Ruby. I remember going squirrel hunting, and she'd come back, and her muscle memory, she had a big old knife, she'd clean that squirrel up, and she'd fry those squirrels up, and they were absolutely wonderful. I started watching folks and paying attention way
Right.
back then. PR would remember those biscuits and gravy and squirrel that she made. Oh my goodness. Hush Puppies. Buddy of mine, Jim, came over a while back and he made some Hush Puppies. This is his recipe. Now we made one just very similar to it, but we're going to change this up just a little bit for Dad because Dad likes his really sweet.
Yes,
and
he
so
does.
do I. So to do this, first of all, Miss Farmer, we got to have some yellow sweet onion. Now if you get Vidalia onions, oh, they work so good in this. We're going to take, that's a medium onion, I would say. It's a yellow sweet onion. We're going to use about 3/4 of this onion. We're going to chop it up real fine. We want that spread through the cornmeal. We're going to use white bolted cornmeal. You could use yellow, but we got white. So we're going to take 2 cups of cornmeal, 1 cup of flour, self-rising, 2 cups cornmeal, 1 cup flour.
You got your onion
Get
here?
that nice and mixed up. Now, you want some salt and you want some pepper, depending on what your taste is there.
Woo.
But you want also 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Are you crying,
I'm
Miss
crying.
Farmer?
I'm
You're
so
happy
excited.
you're
That was a
crying.
strong onion.
It was a strong onion. So we're going to take our ingredients, mix them all up. So I put salt and pepper in here. I like my salt. I like my pepper. Let's start putting the
Buttermilk.
wet stuff in. Let's go ahead and put our egg in.
Okay.
Now, the sugar that you put in, it's totally up to you. You can put a lot or you can put a little. I like my Hush Puppy sweet. You can tell tonight our side's a little sweet thing going on.
I like sweet because we don't have dessert.
We don't have dessert, but these Hush Puppies, oh, they're like dessert. So let's go over it one more time. 2 cups of cornmeal, I use white bolted, 1 cup self-rising flour, an egg, 3/4 of an onion. So again, if you can find a good Vidalia onion, man, that'd make this just perfect. And you want to make it till it just will stick on the spoon, about like that. Miss Farmer, I'm gonna let you stir that
All right.
up. And I'm gonna continue.
More sugar.
Just put a little bit of sugar in there. Just
Okay,
a tiny bit.
just a little bit.
Not too much. Just a little bit.
Wow.
Not about that much. We don't want too much sugar in there, do we, Miss Farmer?
Not at all.
We're trying to get skinny
That's right.
because I'm going to the beach.
Are you?
I'm going to be in the one-arm muscle man contest.
Can't wait to see that.
All right.
Look good?
That does. Oh, it smells good.
It does smell really good.
We'll put that in the fridge and let it sit about 20 minutes because we got other things we're going to have to do. Now, what we're going to do in a little while is once we get ready to cook these up, I'm going to take me just a little scooper,
Okay.
a little melon scooper. Your eyes are still red from the onions.
I know, I'm still crying.
We'll scoop that in there, put a little oil on it, scoop it, drop it out. Ooh.
Yummy.
All right, let's put it in the fridge. So we're getting there, Miss Farmer.
We are.
The main course is the fish.
That's right.
Which is coming later. But you know what? We don't do a lot of trendy things or faddish things, but I saw something years ago. A fella, he was making French fries. Now this is not a secret.
Right.
But a lot of people will soak them in water.
Get that
For
starch
a couple
out.
hours to get the starch out.
Yeah.
This is a russet potato. There's a guy in New York that's been doing this for years. He's supposedly got the best French fries in the world.
Yeah.
So this is not a trick, but if you haven't seen it, this is how we do it.
It makes the best fries ever.
It makes the best fries. So Nikki cuts them up.
It's a russet potato.
There's nothing like homemade fries.
Right.
And you just soak them in water for a couple hours.
Right.
Then after that, you fry them. Now you don't completely fry them. What you do is you fry them up to the point of about 300 degrees.
Right.
Till they almost start to get a little bit of brown look, and then you take them off.
Right.
And you let them set.
Right.
And here's the great part. You set them aside. So when you got your fish going, you got your hush puppies going, and everything's almost ready, then you bring them back. They've already been fried.
Right.
Then you hit them with a little more heat at around 350 and let them get good and hot. Oh,
They cook
my
up
goodness.
faster.
Yeah, they got a crisp on them,
Right.
don't they?
I've heard that some restaurants will do this, leave them overnight, and that's how they do their fries all day.
Yeah.
Just pull them out like that.
Yep.
So-
Cut them up the day
Yes.
before, leave them soaking all night, get some of that starch out of them. Boom.
Yes.
All right, how do you cut them up, Ms.
All right. It's however you want. I made these long this time, so you just peel it. This is a russet potato, and I've made them small fries, but this time I made us nice long fries. You can make them thicker. We like them thin.
And there's nothing like fresh fried
No.
potatoes. It's just beautiful. And what do we use when we're cooking in our fish fry? When we're making our hush puppies, when we're making our French fries, I like peanut oil. It just tastes better. It's a little more expensive, but it tastes really good. I have always used peanut oil for my fish fries.
We like our fries thin. Some people, you can make these thick, but we're like a thin fry person, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
And this is just one potato, and you see one potato will do us unless we're being piggies and we need more.
You know, if you wanted to do this in duck fat or beef tallow, it's absolutely wonderful. It's a little more expensive, but beef tallow used to be super cheap. Then they came along with a supposedly healthier vegetable oil. Come to find out, the beef tallow is probably healthier.
Right.
So could we go back to the beef tallow, Nikki?
That would
Could
be
you talk
nice.
to somebody?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll listen to me.
So those will make beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful French fries.
And earlier we did that, and we've had those setting
Here's
for
what- yeah.
2 or 3 hours.
Here's what they look like. They've been soaking in cold water.
And they're ready.
And we'll pop those in some water.
All right, and one thing we do need to do with these now, though, is I'm going to get a cookie sheet out, and we're going to make sure these are totally dry with regular towels.
Gotta
Not
pat 'em
paper
dry.
towels. Yeah, regular towel, because paper towel will stick. We want to get them totally dry before we even
You
start.
put that water in oil and it's not good.
Yes.
You want to get them dry. So let's do that because we're getting
Alrighty.
close, Ms.
Yes,
Farmer.
we are.
Okay, now these fries may seem a little involved, but it's well worth it.
It is worth it.
But again, the one thing that I like, that I really like, which makes this handy, is you go ahead and flash fry them at about 300 degrees. And we can go ahead and pop them in there because we're up
Alright.
to 300 degrees. And we're going to leave them in there for 3 to 5 minutes. You want to get them just a little bit like they're looking to be brown. You don't want to crisp them up. Then you set them aside. You can let them set for an hour or so if you'd like to.
So you're ready. That's what's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the time you get your oil hot and your hush puppies going and everything rolling at the same time, you can pop them right back in. It's really handy. When you pop them in there, it's going to bring your temperature down, so try to keep it up around 300. Now these, as you can see, they're not brown, but they cooked a little bit. Just going to separate those. And we're going to come back in a little while,
Make them
finish
wonderful.
them up. At this point, we're going to mix up some fish batter. This is top secret stuff.
Yes, it is.
Tip top secret stuff.
So get your pencils.
All right, let's get our other pan, Ms. Farmer. Now, years ago, you and I used to go down and eat at a restaurant in Frankfurt called Harry's.
That's right.
Harry would have rabbit on the occasion. He had greens. He had
Oh,
really
he
good
did.
greens.
He did have good greens.
He told me the secret about how he made his greens. And I watched him fix catfish one time. Now his catfish recipe was almost the same as mine. So here's the batter for the perfect fish fry. This is not your beer batter.
Right.
This is just plain and simple country. Equal parts cornmeal and flour. But
Okay.
season your flour heavily with pepper. I like pepper. And what do I use, Mrs. Farmer? What kind of pepper?
You like a lot of Telecherry.
Yes. You know, I'm telling you, it's just something different about it. I love it.
It is
I
good.
put a lot of Telecherry pepper in here. Now put some salt. Now it depends on how much salt you like. I like quite a bit in mine. And if you have reasons that you shouldn't be putting salt in it, listen to your doctor, don't listen to me. Harry would come back with some Cajun seasoning. Give that some flavor. And he put surprisingly quite a bit in there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't overpower it, believe it or not. And it's something about this frying process. You don't get overwhelmed with the taste of the Cajun seasoning, but it does add a nice kick. Harry had the best catfish going, and I can tell you that. I wish he'd open back up. He had the best stuff in town.
He did.
You know, Harry shared that recipe with me on Kentucky Afield years and years ago. Years and years and years ago. We'd go down there and you could pick X amount of pieces of meat for X amount of dollars, like 3 or 4 pieces for X. And say, Harry, I want 8 pieces. You can't eat all that.
You
So
would,
watch
didn't
me,
you?
and I
You
did. So a little something I've learned over the years. A lot of people say, yeah, you want your oil about 350. Some people even say 375.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to go that crazy on your temperature. I like to start off about 325 and then pop everything in, and keep a real close eye on your temperature. And we kept our oil hot. Well, we're already over 300. So I'm gonna dip that in oil. I'm gonna get my little scoop going here. I'm gonna plop me out.
Yummy.
Now those are gonna stick to the bottom right off the bat.
I can help you.
I'm gonna loosen them up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what,
I'm excited.
you can't beat these. We put just a little bit of sugar in there, Miss Farmer. Those sweet onions. Oh, now you can put corn in here. A lot of times if we have some fresh corn, we'll put fresh corn in there. And every now and then, once your hush puppies get going, you'll see them brown on the other side. Just kind of lightly turn them over. Let them get brown all the way around.
All right, those look amazing. Why did they call them hush puppies?
I remember going to fish fry in Alabama one time when I was a kid with Mom and Dad. And there's some people in there, and he explained to me. I think he was a preacher. His name was Brother Hale. And I said, why do they call them hush puppies? He said, because watch this. They had dogs all over the place.
Okay.
And the dogs were running around, barking, trying to get something. So they would throw
Let me
a little
guess.
piece of the batter in there and throw them to the dogs.
They would hush them.
They would hush the puppies.
Hush the puppy. Okay.
I don't know
All
if
right.
that's true or not.
All right. Can I throw my fries in?
Yes,
What do you think?
can.
Let's
Now,
start.
the temperature is right.
Look at the fries. They're starting to go crazy.
All right, now look at those fries. They are beautiful.
I'm excited about these.
Now when they come out, if you wanted to take a little salt and put on there, you could.
I think we should.
Oh. That was stressful. Everything came together at once. You know what?
Excited.
I got to tell you though, I got to admit,
Okay.
we fried so many pieces of fish, I had to switch to yellow batter.
Okay.
We ran out of white batter.
Kept eating it. I know it. It's
What's wrong?
delicious.
I know you've already had some.
Thank you.
That's the choice piece off the end.
Oh, wow.
Just enough spice.
Wow.
It doesn't overpower it.
Delicious.
Oh.
Try a fry.
Oh.
These.
Fries are phenomenal.
Oh my goodness.
Now look at those. Nice and brown. Crisp, crunchy.
Better than you can get anywhere. Can I try your?
Look at these.
Oh wow.
Perfectly brown.
Those are good.
Just like I remember as a kid. I got to be sweet.
And coleslaw is always delicious.
Now this, I could live on.
I know you like the coleslaw. Very good. So good. Wow.
To me, that's a perfect plate of food. That's country. Everything on this plate is something I've learned from hundreds of years of cooking experience from different folks. Ms. Farmer, we've got all these gazillions of recipes. If you wanted to look up a recipe, where would you go?
I go to timfarmerscountrykitchen.com.
You would.
I do.
I've gone there too.
I know.
Sometimes I forget how much I put in something. We measure now. Kelly makes us measure.
That's right.
Also, our Facebook page. We love to talk to folks there. We're getting a bunch of people over there.
Yes, we are.
But it's really hard to get on there. There's how many steps?
1.
What do you do?
You hit like.
Oh, complicated.
Yes.
So, Ms. Farmer, this half hour's up.
Yes, it is.
We're going to turn everything off, except for one little light, light a candle, have a nice romantic fish dinner.
All right.
Because it's all about
Good times.
good friends.
Really good eats.
We'll see you next week on Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We have been catering for a lot of years, and I wanted everything to have a specific taste. Therefore, I had to come up with my own products.
Right.
A dry rub, chow chow, and our barbecue sauce are something that we use in all our catering gigs. I developed this barbecue sauce that is not the really thick, syrupy stuff that you get. This has more of a natural, it's got some pepper and onion flavor in it. You can actually see the particulates in there. You know, a lot of people are asking what we use our dry rub on. Now, obviously, pork and chicken are two of the more common things. Also, we've been using on our corn on the cob with butter.
That is.
I'm telling you, this
That's
stuff
wonderful.
with potatoes is fantastic. So 40 years in the making, Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen Dry Rub.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Emerson Farms Country Store. Something for every member of the family. Ephraim McDowell Medical Center in Danville, Kentucky. Gulf Coast Connection. Seafood straight from the Gulf to you. The Spine Center of Central Kentucky. Wilderness Road Hospitality, Stanford, Kentucky. Visit Frankfort, Kentucky's spirited capital city.